While economic and financial policy is always an important element of development, it is perhaps more crucial now given the economic constraints faced since the onset of COVID-19. So, how do the two main political parties intend to stimulate economic growth and improve the country's fiscal position in the post-pandemic era? The SLP's manifesto gives substantial attention to fiscal and economic strategy with 13 proposals, including income tax exemption for workers earning less than $4,000 monthly. The party also plans to launch a comprehensive and independent review of the government's finances by either the ECCB or the CDB, and a review of procurement and financial legislation to ensure optimal resource use and reduce incidents of corruption. They also pledge to strengthen revenue agencies to improve efficiency, reduce leakages, and improve tax compliance. In addition, the SLP promises to work with the International Financial Corporation and local institutions to undertake debt refinancing with a view to securing lower repayments. Further, the party pledges to review and update the country's medium-term economic strategy for 2021 to 2026 and table a supplementary budget to Parliament to reallocate resources to improving health infrastructure and assisting the needy. While the UWP's manifesto does not have a designated section for fiscal and economic strategy, it does contain a section on how they intend to fund their development agenda, something which isn't explicitly explored in the SLP's manifesto. The UWP's funding plans include the continued use of road tax to facilitate road maintenance and construction, as well as secured project funding from donor and development agencies for projects within the medium-term development strategy. The UWP also promises to use CIP revenue to fund economic and social transformation by introducing a mandatory allocation to support poor and vulnerable households. This will be done through income support for people with disabilities and unemployed single parents, as well as food and utility subsidies and low-income housing support for the vulnerable. In terms of stabilizing and growing the economy, the SLP plans to explore the housing sector as a key driver for economic growth and job creation. This includes plans to redevelop the city of Castries with modern, medium, high-rise residential buildings and giving consideration to a mix of other housing developments, including single detached units, townhouses, and low-rise apartment buildings. The manifesto also speaks to subsidized housing for rent based on income levels and encouraging the private sector to invest in increasing Saint Lucia's housing stock, especially for low-middle-income families. The UWP's manifesto focuses heavily on large-scale infrastructure projects which are expected to assist in building the economy. This includes the development of a new cruise terminal in Vieux Fort and the completion of the Uranora Airport. Other plans include the completion of the Millennium Highway and West Coast Road project, as well as the completion of the Cul-de-sac Bridge. In the area of revitalizing the business sector, the UWP's manifesto briefly highlights plans to support businesses within specific sectors such as tourism, the digital economy, and the creative industries. While the SLP's manifesto does consider these areas, it also proposes plans to specifically help businesses affected by the financial challenges of COVID-19. This includes additional tax credits for wages and salaries, as well as limited government guarantees to financial institutions to help affected businesses finance working capital requirements during their recovery phase. The SLP also plans to create a business recovery unit within the Finance Ministry, which will be supported by the Commerce Ministry. This unit will undertake initiatives such as offering technical support to affected businesses and reviewing all taxes, duties, and government processes to help ease the challenges businesses face. As it relates to the financial services sector, the UWP's plans involve reducing the corporate tax rate from 30% to 15% and strengthening and modernizing residency and territorial tax regimes. While the SLP's manifesto speaks to broadening services within the financial services sector, it does not provide further details. Both parties want to strengthen legislation which regulates international business companies. The digital economy features prominently in both manifestos. The SLP has pledged to remove impediments to e-commerce transactions, while the UWP promises accelerated adoption of e-commerce solutions for all sectors, including vendors, taxi and tour operators. Similarly, the SLP intends to increase broadband services across the island, and the UWP will seek to lower internet and data costs. Outside of these two areas, the plans for the digital economy differ somewhat between the UWP and the SLP. The SLP wants to focus on modernizing ICT legislation, including plans to update the Data Protection Act, Electronic Transaction Act, and the Computer Misuse Act. The UWP, on the other hand, will seek to stimulate the digital economy by incentivizing global tech giants to establish regional headquarters on island and pursue investments in the business and knowledge process outsourcing sectors. They further intend to offer tax and duty-free concessions to aspiring digital and tech entrepreneurs. According to the manifesto, the party also wants to develop digital literacy programs and prioritize skills development and micro-credentialing in areas including graphic design, programming, robotics, and cybersecurity. While both manifestos give significant attention to the green, orange, and blue economies, that is agriculture, creative industries, and marine respectively, these will be covered in other reporting. For Choice News Now, Amanie Mathurin reporting.